So we wanted to talk about having babies.
Having kids and being trans.
Yeah, and if we're going to tell our children, not our children, we're going to tell our separate children that we're trans, and when and how.
Yeah.
All that. You get serious right before videos. You're like...
No, it's super dramatic.
Yeah.
So what's your plan?
See, that's one of the reasons I keep watching these videos and reading dad blogs and things like that, is that I have no idea how this is going to work. I do plan on telling my children because I'm afraid that they'll find out and feel really betrayed. And also because I can't keep a secret. This is a true story. And, like, I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I am considering adoption, like, other than the whole, like, saving babies thing. But because then you can tell your kid, oh, you're adopted. And the fact that you're not the biological father isn't that big of a deal.
Right.
And I'm kind of afraid that someday I'll be like, hey, I'm trans to my kid, and they'll be like, you're not my real dad.
That is definitely something to consider. I'm not sure if I'll tell them. I clearly don't know, like, how father-son dynamics work, like, as a kid is growing up, because I didn't experience that with my dad. So I don't know, like, what is expected, like, if dads and their sons, like, know a lot about each other's bodies, if that's, like, something that's true or not.
I didn't even think about that.
So since I wasn't socialized that way with my father, so I'm not sure, like, if I would be, like, depriving my son of something, but at the end of
like,
if I had, like, a son, you know,
yeah,
I don't think, if I had a daughter, like, I don't think that my body is of importance at all in my daughter's life, but I'm not sure about my son, just because I think that maybe a son could look to you for information about things I wouldn't know a lot about, and so I think that would make me reconsider about revealing my trans status to my children. But either way, like, they will be knowledgeable about trans issues, and they will know everything that they need to know about being queer, and, like, we will be, I think that my whole family will be, like, really active in that community, but I'm not sure if they need to know, or if, you know, like, what does that gain me, and what do they lose by not knowing?
I would share my trans status with my children, not because my body is any of their business, but because my past is, my life is, all of those things. But also because I think that the fact that I would not be biologically their father would be their business. Like, I actually want to choose a sperm donor that I know. Shout out to all my gay friends.
Yeah, seriously. Offered to donate sperm throughout the years.
Yeah, I would like a known donor because I want him to be minimally involved in my children's lives, like as an uncle figure, and be there for them, and so I can point to him and be like, this guy did this great thing for my family and for us, and and I want them to know him so they can be like, look, this is what I'll look like, this is my medical history, like, I know all these things. I
think that's definitely a good idea, like, absolutely. And I think that, like, I want to raise my kids in an environment that if and when I do tell them, they'll be like, meh, like, whatever, not that big of a deal. And I'm definitely considering adoption as well, so not being biologically my child won't be like, oh, I thought I was related to you genetically, and it's just like, I don't think that's going to be an issue, but...
I am considering adoption, but I also don't think that that's going to be the path I take, because I have all these selfish, like, reasons why I want at least one child where I'm with them from conception onward, and, like, go through a pregnancy with my partner and everything like that. Yeah. That's just something that I have always really wanted. But as for the known donor thing, like, part of it is that I have a niece, and I'm gonna have a nephew next week. And it takes a village to raise a child, literally. And the more people, like, loving people a child has in their life, the better.
Yeah.
I think that telling a child when they're really young is also like having them grow up just knowing. Like there's never a moment when they found out. They just know. Like it's something talked about is also a good idea. And I feel that way about adoption too. Like whatever you feel like your child needs to.
Hi, Mom.
Oh yeah, if you raise a child where they always know, there's like never a moment when they just find out and they can't say like, "You betrayed me." But if you just raise them like, "Look, I'm your dad, but when you were born, like we had to go off and find other sperm."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's
How to tell that story.
Definitely need to read some like fathering books. There's a million gajillion, books that have been written on not being biologically related to your children. So that shouldn't be difficult. And I think that they've hammered out all the problems with that. Like the best way to do it, I bet, is out there.
Yeah. I wish that there was a book for trans guys on being a father, because I think there are all these issues. Like a lot of guys talk about like not wanting to gender their children in like an oppressive way.
Yeah.
Or not wanting to know the gender of the sex of the baby before the baby is born.
I don't really care about that. Like, I think that doesn't matter. I have a strong opinion about giving my kids gender neutral names though, just in case.
Just in case. I think that like coercive gendering is bad, but I also like think that it's the likelihood that my child will be trans or genderqueer is pretty slim, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like not that bad. And if my kid did express those desires, like I would be cool with it, you know? But like I also understand like if my daughter is like, I really want to play with, Barbies, I wouldn't be like, no, you can't play with Barbies.
Yeah, I think that instead of gearing like pre-plowing the path for your kid, just like let them do it themselves. Like take them to a toy store and then like turn them loose, and whatever they want is what they want. It doesn't matter,
That's how my family kind of was, like I was never forced to play with girl toys or anything like that. I'm in my childhood room. I mean, not really. I didn't actually grow up here. It is my parents' house room that I've decorated as if it were my childhood room, which is kind of pathological. But I've got a shadow box over here. I don't know if you can see it. That sounds disgusting. With like Star Wars action figures and stuff like that in it, and toy nights. So
yeah, I mean, my parents like let me express myself when I was older, but when I was younger, I played with my older sister's used toys,
Yeah.
But like I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. I have like hundreds of dollars worth of Dragon Ball Z action figures and video
don't want to
games.
advertise that. People are going to be breaking down your door.
I don't know.
Right?
They are collectible.
So yeah, I mean, I have hundreds of dollars worth of toy nights, so they're collectibles.
But yeah, I think that I don't know if I'll tell them. I'm sure I will. I just don't know.
Yeah. I need to find like a children's book that like sums it all up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to write one.
And then I can review it on our site.
Yeah. Like Daddy was born Daddy was assigned female at birth. That's gonna be a book. And we'll
Daddy
publish it.
FAAB.
Yeah. Daddy was at FAAB.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that we're out.
Things to say.
Yeah.